and gentlemen, good evening. No, it doesn't work that way. I say, ladies and gentlemen, good evening. You'll go, good evening. Try it again. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening.
Good evening.
Much better. Welcome to this concert, to a culmination of Cantorial's induction weekend. I'm Steve Herman. I'm the honor to be the president of NPLS. Don't get excited, I'm the president of 750 presidents. So before we start, just a couple of announcements. One, if you have glasses, would you not drinking glasses, could you just send them right along to the edges of the so we can take them away calmly before they get smashed. Thank you. Somebody asked me, what's the difference between a rabbi and a cantor? And it's very simple. When a rabbi gets knocked over, picks up his phone, dials 911 or 999, calls for help. When a cantor gets knocked over, they pick up their phone, they go to the tuning fork app, they press bing, and they go, help! So there you know where we are. Slow audience, that's okay. One of the reasons for telling you that joke, though, is please, please, please ensure that your phone is off or on silent. So could you just take a moment to do that now? I'll be very grateful. And we're not expecting any alarms, so if you do hear an alarm ring, please make your way either down the stairs there, through the door there, or through the door at the back. But we're not expecting any problems. So without much more ado, all I can do is welcome you to this wonderful cantor through Jewish music past and present. And so I'd like you to put your hands together, shout, scream, get into practice for shouting out Haman's name. Stamp your feet for Cantor Tamara and friends.
Which is infinite, which is, yes, I who have died, am alive again today. And this is the Son's birthday.
This is a birthday of life and love and wings, and of the gay great happening.
Illimitably I thank you, God, for most this amazing day.
I thank you, God, for this amazing day. For the leaping greenly spirits of trees, and a blue true dream of sky, and for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is, yes. How should tasting, touching, hearing, seeing, breathing, and eating, lifted from the know of all nothing, human merely being, doubt unimaginable you. I thank you, God. I thank you, God, for this amazing day. I thank you, God, for this amazing day. I thank you, God. I thank you, God, for this amazing day. I thank you, God, for this amazing day.
Now the ears of my ears awake, and now the eyes of my eyes are opened. Now the ears of my ears awake, and now the eyes of my eyes are open. I thank you, God,
I thank you, God,
for this amazing day. I thank you, God, amazing day.
For the leaping greeny spirits of dreams, and the blue true dream of sky,
And for everything which is natural, which is infinite, which is yes.
I Thank You, God was a composition by Elliot Z. Levine, and the words are by E.E. Cummings. And now we enter into a space where time and space change meaning. We'll hear a setting of Yedid Nefesh by William Sharman.
Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Yedid nefesh avarachaman, Beshoch avdecha Beshoch
Magen Avot appears in the liturgy of the Shabbat Amidah. The prayer echoes the central themes of the Amidah with references to our forefathers, resurrection of the dead, and the holiness of both God and Shabbat. This composition by Shalom Zemachson, arranged by my teacher, Israel Goldstein, is a beautiful and ornate setting of this text, which expresses the full range of emotions that one might feel during this moment of prayer. Magen Avot bidvaro mechayeh Shabbat Kodsho Kivam Ratza Lehaniach Lahem Lefanav Navod Be'yira v'fachad V'nodeh lishmo Bechol Yom Tamid V'nodeh lishmo Bechol Yom Tamid Me'en habrachot Lefanav navod Lefanav navod B'yira v'fachad V'nodeh lishmo Bechol yom tamid Me'en habrachot Me'en habrachot Adon HaShalom Mekadesh HaShabbat Umevarek Shevi Umeniach B'kedusha Lehammedu Shnei Oneg Zecher, Zecher lemaseh Bereshit.
Wow. It's very appropriate that the song I shall sing now, Chazan Loif Shabbos, a traditional Yiddish song, is about admiring the singing of an amazing chazan who has just been to town and davened for Shabbat and led the services. So it's in Yiddish, so I'll summarize what it's about. So a chazan traveling from town to town has come to a village and has led the services that Shabbat. And afterwards, the three leading citizens of the village get together and compare the notes about the singing of the chazan. And they all agree he was an amazing chazan. Now, the three leading citizens are the tailor, the blacksmith, and the cart driver. And each of them compares the wonderful singing of the chazan to his own profession. So you'll get it. I'll do gestures as I go through. And so for the tailor, it was like a lovely stitch with a needle or a good press of an iron. For the blacksmith, it was like a good blow with a hammer or a clutch with the tongs. And for the cart driver, finally, it was like a good pull on the reins or a crack on the whip. And that's it, basically. But of course, being an old-time song, each verse ends, Hot gedavend, how well he davened. But I think for tonight, I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but we should really say, Hot sie gedavend, how well she davened. And I wasn't here last night or at Kehillah this morning, but I dedicate this to Cantor Tamara. Sie ist gekommen nach Hasel in a Kleinstädtel, davn in a Shabbos, oi davn in a Shabbos. Sind gekommen im Herren, die drei schönste Ballebat im Luch von Städtel, die drei schönste Ballebat im von Städtel. Einer der Schneiderl, der zweite der Kowalczykel und der dritte Balagolczykel. Rief sich op der Schneiderl, rief sich op der Schneiderl, hat gedavend, hat gedavend. Also wenn man geht mit Nodler Stoch, mit ein eiserner Press, oh, ist das a Chasen, oh, hat gedavend. Rief sich ob das Kowalczykel, rief sich ob das Kowalczykel, hat gedavend, hat gedavend. Also wenn man geht, mit dem Hammer das Setz, mit dem Kletsch sei ein Quetsch, oh, ist das ein Chasen, oh, 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 hat gedavend. Rief sich op das Balagolczykel, rief sich op das Balagolczykel, hat gedavend, hat gedavend. Also wenn man geht, mit dem Leiches Zieh, mit dem Beitschelech, wutsch, oh, hier ist das Chasen. Oh, hat sie gedavend. Thank you all.
In the words of the composer of Or Zarua, my teacher, Cantor Benji Ellen Schiller, says, "This song can serve as a meditation on light and righteousness when entering Yom Kippur, the holiest day of the year. Light and righteousness, two things that this world could desperately use more of. As the music of this beautiful setting takes us on a journey from major to minor, from light to dark, and back to light again, we can reflect on its central message, that light shall be sown for the righteous, and gladness for the upright of heart." Oh. Zaru ala tzadik, or zaru ala tzadik, uli yishrei lev, uli yishrei lev, uli yishrei lev simcha.
Or zaru ala tzadik, or zaru ala tzadik, uli yishrei lev. Zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik, uli yishrei lev, uli yishrei lev, uli yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik, uli yishrei lev, uli yishrei lev, uli yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik, or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik, uli yishrei lev, uli yishrei lev simcha. Or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik, or zaru ala tzadik, zaru ala tzadik, uli yishrei lev, uli yishrei lev simcha.
If you're following along in your program, you may notice that we have moved into a section called Days of Awe. And it's March. But the truth is that it's hard to only have one time of year when we're given an opportunity to reflect on where we are in our lives. So perhaps we are adding an opportunity. It's unusual to do it in March, but we're going to do so. I'm going to invite you just to take a moment, perhaps to take a deep breath, to imagine that you really do genuinely have that time over the course of this section to just reassess for a second. Where are you? Where are you between the last High Holy Days and the coming High Holy Days? And where do you want to be? As we use this slightly different, perhaps slightly unusual setting of this text of Avinu Malkeinu. When we were singing it earlier on, Cantorial and Cillin said, I kind of want to join in. So I'm just going to say, if anyone behind me wants to join in at any point, or to be honest, if any of you also feel compelled to do so, you are always welcome to do so. Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Vaneinu Ki ein banu ma'asik Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Vaneinu Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Vaneinu Ki ein banu masim Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Vaneinu Ki ein banu masim Haseimanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu Haseimanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Vaneinu Ki ein banu masim Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Vaneinu Ki ein banu masim Haseimanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu Haseimanu tzedakah v'chesed v'hoshienu Avinu Malkeinu Choneinu Vaneinu Ki ein banu masim
Shema Kolenu is one of the most poignant texts within our High Holy Day liturgy. This setting by Lawrence Avery, which I will sing unaccompanied in its traditional style, is an impassioned plea on behalf of both the prayer leader and the entire congregation, that God should heed our prayers, hear our voices, and not forsake or abandon us in our time of need. Shema Kolenu Adonai Eloheinu Chus Verachem Aleinu Chus Verachem Aleinu תשליכנו מלפניך ורוח קודשך אל תיקח ממנו. This last piece of High Holy Day liturgy is found in the Malchuyot section of the Rosh Hashanah Musaf service. And this traditional piyut, Meloch, expresses the central theme of God's sovereignty over all creation. This Chazanut setting of Meloch by Pinchas Minkowski is a stunning expression of this text. The cantor's voice illustrates and celebrates God's majesty and awe-inspiring presence and lifts up the congregation's prayers and supplications. Eloheinu ve'Elohei avoteinu Meloch al kol והיא נעשה על כל הארץ ביקרך וחופה בהדר גאון עוזך על כל יושבי תבל ארצך וידע כל פעול כי אתה פעלתו ויבין כל יצור כי אתה יצרתו ויאמר כל אשר נשמה ביפו כל אשר נשמה ביפו אדוני אלוהי ישראל מלך ומלכותו קדשנו במצוותיך ותן חלקנו בתורתך סבנו מטובך ושמחנו בישועתך וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת באמת וטהר ליבנו לעבדך באמת באמת כי אתה אלוהים אמת ודברך אמת ודברך אמת וקיים לעד ברוך אתה אדוני מלך על כל הארץ מקדש ישראל ויום הזיכרון.
So we're moving into a different section of our program. And the next piece bears a little explanation because it won't sound like anything else you've heard already. Rossi was composing in the 16th and 17th century, and he wanted to introduce a new type of music into the synagogue, the new type of music called polyphony, which is instead of having everyone singing the same tune or thinking they're singing the same tune, was everybody deliberately having independent lines. So that's the kind of harmony you're about to hear in Elohim Hashivenu. And you'll hear it straight away when we enter in one at a time, all with our request to be restored. But one of the most powerful things about polyphony is when it vanishes and you're left with voices singing together. And in this piece, you'll hear it on Adonai. The only time we sing Adonai in the whole piece is that's there that we find our still small voice that the program is talking about.
May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be acceptable to you, Adonai, my rock and my redeemer. These sacred words pulled from the closing text of the Amidah is the perfect bookend to this moment of prayer and our own personal communications with God. This duet, composed by Gershon Kingsley, is a beautiful and solemn meditation on this poignant prayer. It reminds us of the power of words and how our voices can join together to increase the strength of our prayers.
for some of you, this next piece is going to feel like a preview of tomorrow night when Zemel Choir are performing Bloch's wonderful sacred service. So if you, with Franklin, so if you're looking for more of what you're about to have a taster of, that's where to go. Bloch was writing in the 20th century, and like Rossi, he wanted to elevate the music of the synagogue. And just something to look for in this piece is that unlike many Yihiyu L'Ratzons, this has some of the uncertainty that you could have at the end of silent reflection, at the end of the Amidah, and we go from uncertainty to optimism.
We move into our section on gratitude. And we start with a text that comes from the Jewish philosopher Yehuda Halevi. He was a philosopher in around the 12th century. He wrote a number of beautiful piyutim, and one of them particularly, this one, has found its way into progressive, with a small p, liturgy. The text, because we're going to be singing it in Hebrew, says the following. Where might I go to find you? Your place is high and obscured. Yet where will I not go to find you? Your glory, your presence fills the earth. I sought your nearness. With all my heart, I cried out to you. And in my going out to meet you, I found you coming in to meet me. This is Ya'ana Emtsa'acha.
Makom Chana
This setting of Ve'al Kulam that you're about to hear was one of the first duets I ever sang with my cantor, my mentor and my inspiration, Cantor Jacob Mendelsohn. The text of Ve'al Kulam comes from the Shabbat Amidah, and in it we express gratitude for our lives and everything in them. Tonight I'm feeling particularly grateful for all the blessings in my life, not the least of which is my family. And there's one other person up here with me on this stage who's feeling particularly grateful for her family. Cantor Zoe Jacobs' mother, Debbie, has chosen to celebrate a very special birthday tonight here with us. So before we get to this very special Ve'al Kulam, I would like us all to join in a very special happy birthday to Debbie. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Debbie. Happy birthday to you.
I realise it's now possible that that's the last time my mum will ever come to a concert. There you go.
Mayor Finkelstein's Ve'al Kulam. Ve'al Kulam, Ve'al Kulam, Yitbarach ve'yitramam, Yitbarach ve'yitramam, Shimcha Malkeinu Tamid le'olam va'ed. Ve'al Kulam, Ve'al Kulam, Yitbarach ve'yitramam, Yitbarach ve'yitramam, Shimcha Malkeinu Tamid le'olam va'ed. V'chol ha'chaim yodu chasela, v'hallelu et shimcha be'emet, ha'el Yeshuateinu ve'ezrateinu, Ezrateinu Selah. Ve'al Kulam, Ve'al Kulam, Yitbarach ve'yitramam, Yitbarach ve'yitramam, Shimcha Malkeinu Tamid le'olam va'ed. Baruch atah Adonai, Hatov Shimcha, Hatov Shimcha, Hatov Shimcha, Hatov Shimcha, Ulecha na'eh, lehodot.
Are you trying to give me a complex, guys?
This setting of one of our Shabbat prayers, the Eloheinu Ritzeh, by Max Healthman, is a wonderful example of text setting. He paints the text just beautifully, and I want you to listen for two places that are very moving to me. When we reach the part that's marked with a gentle swing, V'taher, v'taher libenu le'ovdecha be'emet. Purify our hearts to serve you in truth. That's a beautiful moment in this. And then a little bit later, the sun comes out as we sing the words, Shabbat Kodshecha, your holy Sabbath. Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avoteinu Retzei, retzei v'imnuchatenu Kadshenu b'mitzvotecha V'tein, v'tein chelkenu Betoratecha Sabenu mituvecha Vesamchenu Vesamchenu Bishuatecha V'taher, v'taher libenu Le'ovdecha, le'ovdecha be'emet V'taher, v'taher libenu Le'ovdecha, le'ovdecha be'emet V'hanchilenu Adonai Eloheinu be'ava uvratzon Shabbat Kodshecha Ve'anuchu v'Yisrael Ve'anuchu v'Yisrael Mekadeshei Shemecha Baruch atah Adonai Mekadesh HaShabbat
So you might have been sitting here thinking, well, I don't know anything by that composer, and I don't know anything by that composer. But you're about to surprise yourself, because no matter your level of Jewish music knowledge, you know something by this composer, because Michael Skloff, whose Kedusha we're about to sing, composed the theme song, I'll Be There For You, from Friends. And this rare piece that he wrote for the synagogue, he dedicated to singer and composer Danny Masseng, whose music we're also hearing during tonight. You're going to hear it's extraordinary. You're going to hear Broadway influences. And there's this slow build-up of awe and joy that only really gets let loose towards the end with Ani Adonai Elohechem and the hallelujahs. So we'd love you to join us on this journey, which becomes a bit intense. And we hope you enjoy it.
נקדש את שמך בעולם, כשם שמקדישים אותו בשמי מרום, ככתוב על יד נביאך, וקרא זה אל זה ואמר,
Kadosh, 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 Adonai Tzavot, Le'ol haaretz,
אדיר אדירנו אדוני אדוננו מה אדיר שמך בכל הארץ
Baruch Adonai, Adonai, Mikol
אחד הוא אלוהינו הוא אבינו הוא מלכנו הוא מושיענו והוא ישמיענו כי רחמיו לעיני כל חי אני אדוני קדוש 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 אלוהי ציון לדור ודור הללויה 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 הללויה
So I hope you didn't think that we would let you go home without singing. This final text and melody is the priestly blessing that comes from Torah. And you'll hear words that may well be familiar to you, perhaps with a slightly different melody, this melody written, as Mish referred to before, by Danny Massing. What we are hoping to invite you to do is to be part of this moment of blessing with the words, Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be so. So just in case those are not familiar words to you, would you just first of all say the words, Ken, Yehi, Ratzon. Your prose, okay. So you have one line that you are going to repeat every time Ken Yehi Ratzon happens. And how will you know when Ken Yehi Ratzon happens? I will make it extremely obvious. I promise. So, your part is going to go like this. You don't have to do that part. Your part is going to go, Ken Yehi Ratzon, it it is just 3 notes. Can you try it? Can you hear our song? One more time, just for good measure. Can you hear our song? You've absolutely got it, but in case you're ever not 100% sure, the gentlemen to my left are going to be helping with that part, so you can also look to them for a little bit of extra help. And so as Tamara and I sing this blessing, we offer it both as a blessing for all of us in this room, particularly for this community, for Northwood and Pinner Liberal Synagogue, also as a thank you for inviting all of us to have this opportunity to make music, and especially as a blessing for Tamara as she begins this journey with the most extraordinary bang. And as we have the opportunity to come together because of her. So let's share this blessing together. I think they want one more song.
Yeah, you think?
That's generally the impression I get.
Okay, all right. We'll do one more. You might have heard it before.
כשם שמקדישים אותו
ladies and gentlemen, can we also just, in the usual way, thank our wonderful team at the back who've done lights, sound, and streaming, the MPLS staff and volunteers who made this all happen, and finally, just to thank this wonderful, what a marvelous Malava Malka, a wonderful way to celebrate Kata tomorrow's induction weekend. Mazel tov. Shavua tov.
I'd just like to take...
Finally, just one thing. Sorry, admin. In other faith traditions, this would be called a retiring collection. So if you've enjoyed yourself, there's a box at the outside. If you'd like to make a contribution, we'd be very grateful. If you haven't enjoyed yourself, make the contribution anyway.
And I promise I'll let you go in just 1 second, but I'd be remiss if I didn't individually thank the absolutely incredible colleagues that I have up here to share this celebration with me. I'd love to thank Rabbi Mark Solomon, Cantor Gershon Sillins, Robin Sampson, the chair of Kahila North London, who stepped in to sing tenor at the last minute. Thank you so much, Robin. Cantor Zoe Jacobs, Mish Sampson, Ruth Collins, and the truly incomparable Franklin Gelnick. Thank you all. Shavua Tov.